Hello everyone and welcome back to the vlog. I am feeling much better this week despite sounding a little bit nasally, but we're back in action, and today I'm going to show you how I propagate my indoor plants to make new plants. It's super easy to do. I have done it on the pothos before. I have not done it on my monstera, which I actually bought from Costco about a year and a half ago now. I watched a video and it seems pretty simple, so we're gonna give it a go. And then the snake plant in the back there, I'm not sure if you can see it. I have tried propagating them in water before, but the clippings just get like sort of mushy. Supposedly they're supposed to grow roots, so I don't know if I've done something wrong, but I'm gonna try it again, see if I can get some new cuttings to grow roots, and then we can replant a new plant. All you need to do this is clean, sharp clippers. You can clean these with like alcohol, and that just ensures that you're not transferring any like bacteria or anything between plants when you're cutting. You want some jars. I'm just using glass jars so I can see the roots grow, but you can use like whatever you have. You just want to fill them with clean water. Make sure the jars are also super clean before you fill them, just so there's no bacteria in there as we're trying to grow new roots. And obviously water, which I have in my little watering can, and I might need more. And I think that's it. So I'm going to zoom you in so that you can see as I'm clipping, and I'll walk through how to do this. First up, we're going to do my pothos. So this is a vining plant. It gets very long, it'll just keep growing. A lot of people like set up a string or something so that it can kind of climb and crawl along, you know, window frames and trim and ceilings. But I like to keep mine a little bit shorter just because they can get a little bit unwieldy. So instead of just like trimming them and letting them go to waste, what you can do is take your clippings and turn them into new plants. You can see here, there's a little node here where this leaf is splitting off the vine. So when you take clippings, you want to make sure to include that little node. So I would clip like here. And this is what's going to create new roots. So you can do this at like almost every point there's a new leaf. And if you look closely, if it'll focus, there are nodes all along this vine. So this long vine can turn into several new plants. So what I'll do is I'll start at the end here. So I want to make sure to include a node. I have one here, I know you probably can't see it. And I have one here. I'm going to clip it down here just to give it a little bit of a stem. Okay, so this was the very end of the vine. It was the last new leaf. Let's see if it'll focus again. So you can see I have a node right there at the end, actually a couple, and then I have one right here. So when I put it in water, I want to make sure this node is in the water so that it'll create roots. And all I do is I usually use like a smaller glass for these because they're so small. I just take it and I plop it in. This is a clean glass with clean water, and again just making sure that that node is fully submerged. And I'm just gonna fill this glass up. So I'm gonna keep taking clippings and I'm gonna fill this glass up. I may have to add a little bit of water, and then I'm just gonna put it in a windowsill and let it do its thing. I will change the water probably once a week at least. Obviously keep an eye on it, you don't want it to get too gross. And once you start seeing roots, which I will show you in a few weeks when that happens, you can take those and replant them in soil just like you would any other plant. Now, if you can see up close, I've got all my little stems in there with the nodes submerged in water. So like I said, I'm just gonna set this aside, and soon we'll start to see these little like white bumps and like strings, which are the roots, start to form. This will probably just become a nest of roots, so I'll have to like slowly peel them apart once I'm ready to plant them. But they're perfectly fine all clustered like this in the glass, and once we have roots, I'll start to show you what it looks like. Sometimes I find like this one, the leaves are really close together, and like this is going to create a nice end for a new plant. So I just leave all those fresh leaves on the end here, and I find a nice strong node further down the stem and clip it there, and that way when I plant this, it starts to look pretty full. It's not just like 1 or 2 leaves. So you can do that as well. You don't necessarily have to take 1 leaf at a time. You can take bunches like this as well. Okay, so now I'm just going to clean my shears. Literally just put a little bit of alcohol on a piece of toilet paper and just give these a good clean to make sure we're not transferring anything to the next plant. Obviously be careful not to cut yourself. For the Monstera, I don't know if you can see in the camera, there's these like little brown offshoots. You can see one right there. These are called aerial roots. So in the wild, this is a vine, and that's what it uses to climb and attach itself to things. If we cut these leaves off, these individual leaves off, keeping one of the nodes attached where these sort of roots come out, that is what will create new roots when we put it in water so that we can create a new plant. So similar to the pothos, you want to make sure you include one of those on each of your cuttings. And you can clip as many as you want. You're going to put them in a fresh, clean glass of water. Let them sit. Supposedly these take a few months to generate strong roots, so I'll just keep an eye on them, and once I have a good strong root developed, then I will replant these in fresh, clean soil in a new pot and stake them so that they actually stay upright and they're not leaning over like this. I've cut off most of the big leaves. You can see I have a big pile here. And I think I'm just gonna leave this in here and see if it will produce any new leaves or kind of bounce back a little bit. It's such a strong plant. I will repot this, but for now I'm gonna leave it until I have a bigger, better pot to put it in. And just, you know, kind of give it time to bounce back. Because some of these leaves, like, these are new guys, and they look pretty healthy. So I don't want to, like, destroy it if it will come back and produce some more leaves. I have 3 glass jars here. I'm going to fill them with water. I could probably clip this into a few. Actually, I will do that. So I'm going to cut it right here. So this has a node, and this has a couple of nodes. And that way it's just easier to fit them in the vases. So let me fill these with water. Oh, as I spill it all over myself. So then I'm just gonna take this, and I wanna make sure my nodes are submerged all the way in the water. So this one needs a little more water. See, I've got these big jars of cuttings, and the nodes are submerged in water, and I will change this water out once a week. I'm going to use these as a little centerpiece. I might as well while they're growing roots. They're just a nice green, fresh arrangement. So I'm going to put these in by the entry, and we'll keep an eye on them as the roots grow, and I'll show you as they start to develop. It will take a little bit of time. Like I said, these take a few months usually. But hopefully in a few months we'll have a whole bunch of new plants that we can put in some soil. Last but not least, we're going to take a few cuttings from my snake plant here. It's had lots of nibbles from the dogs, and it's just, I mean, it's not dying, but it just doesn't look the greatest. I have a clean glass of water here. So I'll just take a few and we'll see if it works, and if it does, then we'll have some new plants to plant. Some of these look like, you can see in here, there are some brand new leaves coming up, which is great. It means it's somewhat happy. Hey, can you get out there? Hey. I'm gonna find some good leaves, some strong leaves, and I'm just gonna clip it straight across. It's a little diagonal, but literally just cut the leaf off like this. Probably should dust it, it's a bit dusty. But yeah, so supposedly, if you put it in water, the roots come out of this like cut end here. So I'm gonna see how this works. So literally just take it, put it in your cup of water like that, and change the water every week. Makes the perfect little centerpiece. And I just put these cuttings here on the dining room table. I think it'll get enough light in here. I may need to put them on a windowsill or break them up into more jars because these are pretty full, but it makes a nice little centerpiece in the meantime. That is it for the propagating today. I think tomorrow I'm going to repot my fiddle leaf fig, which is back to being very sad because the dog keeps nibbling on it. And I might repot the snake plant or part of the snake plant into the pot the fiddle leaf fig is currently in. We'll see how it goes, but I will share with you how I'm doing that. I did buy some new organic indoor potting soil. I've never used it before, so we're gonna give it a go, see how it does. But hopefully that'll just give the roots of those existing plants a little more room to wiggle around. Sometimes it's nice to just shake them out. They get a little bunched up in their pots, especially if you don't repot them very often, which I rarely do. That will just give them a fresh place to grow. So I'll share that with you tomorrow, and then Friday we are headed to my sister's to go pick up seeds, which I cannot wait for. I was just telling her, I feel like we're like trading baseball cards or something. Like, I'm bringing my seeds, she has her seeds, and we're gonna divide them up, and it's gonna be so much fun. This is the current state of the fiddle leaf fig. She was down to like a nub last summer, and I just like put it outside and was like, yeah, I'll dump it eventually. And these tiny little new leaves started growing. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's coming back to life. So I left it. But then as the weather started to change, I brought it inside, and Johhny went to town and started nibbling it again. There's still life. I still have hope. She will be a nice full plant again someday, but I think it's time to change the soil. It is so old, and she needs a new pot. Actually just refilled the water in my little click and grow garden here, and the pak choi is looking so good. This makes me so happy. I need to put this in a place where I can enjoy it more. Right now it's on the floor in my office still, so I need to move it so that when I walk by I can enjoy the little greenery. If you remember when I planted these, I had mentioned that I actually bought all these seeds a couple years ago and I forgot I had them. So I fully expected none of them to grow. So these honestly might just be duds or for some reason they're not germinating. So I'm assuming at this point they're probably a loss, but I'm gonna let these keep growing, and the pak choi obviously keep growing. And then when I get my seed starting mix ready to put seeds downstairs in the basement, I might experiment with these and try doing that here with my own seeds to see if something will grow. So I'm going to get a little bit of work done, and then at lunchtime we will try repotting a few plants to see how that goes. I am sitting in my car. I just picked up a pizza for lunch. I'm a huge fan of pizza. It's like one of my favorite foods. And if you are a big pizza fan, you might know about Dave from Barstool Sports YouTube channel, where he goes to all different pizza shops, tries the pizza, and rates it. He recently rated Joanie's Pizza in Chelmsford, Massachusetts, and he rated it like an 8.5 or something like that, like really, really high. And I love good pizza. It's hard to find good pizza. So I tried to order it last week, but when I called, I think it was Friday or Saturday night, when I called, there was a message on the answering machine that just said like, we ran out of dough, we're closed until Tuesday or something. I figured I might have a better chance of getting a pizza at lunch instead of dinner time when everybody's trying to order. So I just picked up a pepperoni pizza. They only have one size, it's 16 inches. It's a nice big box. I'm gonna try it right here in the car and see what I think. It's always good fresh and hot. Apparently there's been like lines out the door here, and that just makes me so happy for like a small local business. Like, I love to see people blow up for something that they do really well. So that makes me happy, and you know, I'm always excited to have another new pizza place to try. They really only do pizza. It's not like a sub shop or anything like that. All right, so I will show you what it looks like. Oh my gosh, that looks so good. What? I'm gonna take a bite. I'm not gonna eat the whole thing in the car because I need to go home and eat like a proper human, but oh my gosh, super crispy on the bottom. Oh, so thin, I love it. Oh my gosh. Right. That is super good, holy moly. I'm gonna shut that to keep it nice and toasty for the ride home. Wow, okay. It's pretty like tomatoey. Like, it's got like a really rich tomato flavor, which I don't know, I don't remember like having that in pizza very often. It's thin crust, which is my favorite. It's not like overly cheesy. I love cheese, but like sometimes when there's too much cheese, it just like takes over the whole pizza. It's crispy, which I like. I hate when that's like soggy. And like the outside of, as you saw, the pizza crust is like just kind of like on the verge of being burnt a little. Like, it's sort of got like that charred look, which I love. So I don't know, I'm not qualified to be rating pizza. I know what I like and what I don't, but I do think it's worth a try if you're in the area. So for my local friends, if you're looking for a new spot, you're looking for a fun little date, check out Joanie's Pizza in Chelmsford, but plan ahead because it might be busy, they might be out of dough, so either call and order or come at an off time. So yeah, enjoy. I am back with part 2 of the indoor plant series. I did not intend for this to become an indoor plant video, but here we are. I guess 'tis the season. It's gross outside and I'm just trying to like breathe new life into all the plants I have inside. Hello, are you going to help? Yes. You love dirt. Of course you're going to help. It's her birthday. It is Junie's birthday today. She is 2 years old. So we're gonna take her on a little adventure to pick out a toy this afternoon for a birthday treat. She has no idea. Okay, scoot. Can you scoot? Okay. So, like I mentioned yesterday, I actually got a new indoor potting mix. I've never used it before, but it says all natural indoor potting mix, organic plus. The brand is Kellogg. So I'm going to give that a go and see how it does. Hopefully this one won't get into it, but we shall see. I was originally thinking of taking my fiddly fig and planting it in this terracotta pot, and then taking part of my snake plant and planting it in the old fiddly fig pot. But I like how this pot fits in the basket, and I actually like the fiddle leaf in the basket. So I think I'm just going to take that out, dump the old soil, because it is no longer very nutrient rich, and then just replant the fiddly fig in the same pot, and then I'll just split the snake plant between these two. So that was pretty easy. You can see I took this one out of the old pot and basically cleared the roots and shook it off as much as I could so that it was pretty clear of the old dirt. And then I dumped all this old soil. Like, I've had this for, gosh, 2-3 years at least, and I don't think I've ever repotted it, so it was time for that to go. And then I started putting a little bit of soil on the bottom, then I gently rested this in the middle, and then I started like covering the roots with more soil. It'll, like, as I water it, it'll start to pack down a little bit, so I might have to top it with some fresh soil in a little bit, but for now I think this is good. One of the tricks I learned from my mother-in-law is if you have really big pots, this one's not huge, but if you have really big pots for larger plants, you can crunch up empty plastic water bottles if you have them in your recycling and fill that in the bottom, and that just takes up a little bit of room and makes the pot a little bit lighter, because when you have those really large pots, they get super heavy when you fill them with soil. So that's a little trick. If you have those laying around, save them for your larger indoor plant pots. Now I'm going to take my snake plant. There are actually multiple plants in here, so I'm going to try to pull one, maybe two out, do the same thing, shake off the roots, put it in the new pot. So let's see what we have here. You can see here, I just pulled these two clumps out from the mama plant. They're just like offshoots from the main plant, and they really have kind of propagated themselves. So there's a little bit of root on them. Honestly, I've never done this way, so I'm gonna try to plant them like this and see if they take, and if not, I'll do a little research and see if there's a better way to do it. That's it. So I just kind of filled it with soil, created a little hole with my hand, and slid each little plant in, and then tucked it in and sort of packed in the soil just lightly around it to keep it upright. We'll see how this does, and hopefully they'll take and start to develop their own roots. I think since I have plenty of soil, I'm actually going to pull all of these little plants out from the original pot. I'm going to dump this soil as well because I've never repotted this. And this was a gift from my mother-in-law like a few years ago. So it's time to give this some fresh soil too. So I'm going to take these out, dump this soil, I'll put fresh soil in, and I'll replant those. And hopefully that will give it a little bit of new life and make it a little bit happier. And that's that. It looks much better already, just less crowded, has more breathing room, shook the roots out. Again, I'll probably have to top these with dirt once it settles a bit and I've watered it a few times, but I think it'll be much happier. It's Johhny's second birthday, so we are at Petco to pick out some toys, huh? You can pick out some toys? Propped up on a Kleenex box. I just wanted to show you really quickly. I know like everyone has these and I'm like way behind the ball, but I finally got these things. They're the little wristbands that you put on along with a headband with this cute little bow. So this is really just to keep my hair back, like so. This bow is ridiculous. But these are brilliant because when you like splash the water in your face and it just dribbles down your arm and gets your sleeves wet, which is literally one of my biggest pet peeves. So this helps with that. So I'm gonna give it a go for the first time and I will let you know if they're any good. I'm sure they are because everybody loves them. I'm gonna wash my face, take my makeup off, brush my teeth, put my skincare on, and I will catch you in the morning. Finally at my sister's. We just went for a nice long walk around the property so that we could see a view just before it got dark out. So I was not prepared for a hike. My sister has a habit of telling us we're going on a walk and then it turns out to be like a full-on hike, vertical up the side of a mountain. So she thinks it's funny, but she always tells me we're almost there. That's the running joke, and we're never there. It's just never ending. But anyway, I'm finally here to pick up seeds. Meg has the big Johhny seed order. This is just one of the little packets, but we have a whole box behind us. And I brought my binder of seeds, which was a gift from a friend, to organize all my seed packets, but I had put all the seeds I got from Botanical Interest in here. So we're going to go one by one through the packets and divide up the seeds from Johhny's and from Botanical Interest. I got a pack of just coin envelopes so that we can easily divide them up, and it's probably going to take some time to go through them all. So once I have them all in the binder organized, I can run through all the different varieties and things that I'll be planting. One of my goals is to try to source as many seeds and things from the New England area as possible, partly because it's closer to my growing zone, so they're, you know, I hope that whatever is being sold here will be more likely to grow here, but I also like to try to keep it local, support local. And thankfully, Johhny's, which is a huge seed company, is located in Maine. All right, Megan is very prepared. So we've got these fancy little tweezers in this little tray to sort the seeds over so they don't splatter everywhere. We've got some blank envelopes so that we can stick the seeds in there and label them when we're splitting them up. And then I am going to just take photos of the seed packets with the information and the name of the variety so that when I go to grow them, I can either look them up on the website to get the information I need or just reference my camera roll. I forgot I also got all my trays, so we got different cell pack sizes so that I can do my starts in various sizes. These are good for flowers. I got a slightly smaller one down there. This one's a little bit larger so that as they start to grow you can transfer or use them for like larger varieties. And then Meg has a bunch of these. I have some at home, but these are even bigger so that as things start to grow you can transfer them to larger containers.
such a
This is like, Megan, this is more
This is just the new stuff I bought.
Oh my god.
I can't stop. They're so pretty. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, I want to look.
Alright, you guys, this took forever, but we have everything sorted into my own individual little envelopes. So when I get home tomorrow, I will show you some of the varieties we got. But unfortunately, there are no photos because I don't have the original envelopes, which honestly, they don't even have photos, so that doesn't help at all. It doesn't look like a lot, but there are way more seeds here than I have room to plant. So there's going to have to be some magic happening in the garden areas this year to make it all fit. But very exciting. Before I head home, we are actually stopping at Lake Morey to do a little bit of ice skating. So it's this big lake in Vermont that they have this like trail around the outside of the lake that you can skate around. And I brought my skates. I used to be a figure skater. I've had these skates for forever. So this is my first skate of the year, and I'll show you what it looks like. I am back home. We had an amazing time ice skating. It was freezing to start, but once we started moving, the sun came out, it was the perfect day. So definitely recommend if you're ever in Vermont, check out Lake Morey. It is so cool. It's just enormous, and on a clear day, it is just truly beautiful. I believe they have skate rentals, I think. We all had our own skates, so you can bring your own, but I'm pretty sure they might have skate rentals, and my sister was saying they also might do skate sharpening. Super fun. Highly recommend if you're up for a icy adventure. Seed sorting was so much fun. It took forever, but now we have divided all the seeds, and I've got all of mine organized in little envelopes in my binder, and I'm excited to get some seeds started very soon. I will show you kind of what I have. I'm not going to go through every seed, but I'll show you some of the things that we have seeds for that we're going to grow this year or try to grow this year. I'm sure plenty of this will fail, but I'm excited to learn and try, and who knows, maybe we'll find some new things that we like, maybe we'll find some things that don't work, and maybe we'll have more success than we expect. So I've grouped things in categories. So we have like herbs, I've got like root veggies, I've got, you know, gourds and pumpkins and squash. I've got flowers in the back, we've got peppers, things like that. So I've tried to group things so that I can easily find them. So some of the things I'm excited about are purple basil. I think I had mentioned this in one of my other videos. I love purple basil. I'm going to use this in the perennial garden for a little bit of color, but it's also edible, obviously, so that'll be fun. I've never planted lemon balm before, so I'm excited about that one. We're exploring more greens this year, so bok choy I've never planted. I've done the pak choy in my click and grow garden, but I've never grown this in the garden, so I'm very excited about that. We've got lots of arugula and kale. And then for root veggies, we've got, I've never done fennel, but I love fennel. We have a couple of amazing recipes that use fennel, so I'm excited to try that. French breakfast radishes I've heard are very easy to grow, so I'm trying those this year. I'm gonna try some celery. We've got lots of different onions. I got some more shallots just in case the shallots I planted in the fall don't work out. I think I'm probably the most excited about pumpkins, gourds, and tomatoes. I have a whole bunch of fun decorative pumpkins. They're just like the funky colors, funky shapes, funky textures. I also got sugar pie pumpkins so I can try baking with them. I've got a variety of different like gourds, so just the small decorative gourds for fall decorations, and then tons of squash. We love squash, so we've got acorn squash, spaghetti squash, honey nut, obviously zucchini. So that'll be really fun and obviously take up a lot of space. So we have to figure out where all of this is gonna go. That's kind of one of the big problems now, but we will make it work. I am all for finding space if we are jazzed about growing it. We've got some painted corn, sweet corn, cucumbers, and then, ooh, the tomatoes. We have so many tomatoes. I literally was planning on growing like 4 tomato plants, and of course, Megan had all kinds of varieties, so I was like, ooh, I wanna try them all. So we've got a couple of different cherry tomatoes, we've got beefsteak tomatoes, we've got a gin fizz, which I think is like a yellowy tomato. We've got San Marzanos, obviously, that's a fun one to grow. And then we've got a couple different eggplants, tons of different hot peppers. Shishito are my absolute favorite, so we are definitely growing those. And then we've got some sweet peppers as well. And then last but not least, we both went absolutely bonkers crazy on the flowers. I don't know why. It's just like you see a picture and you're like, ooh, I want that to grow in my garden. So we have tons of annuals. Lots of them are edible. I have a few perennials. Some of them will go in the perennial garden. But, you know, this is the year of experimenting. We're just gonna try everything and see what works. Some I'm most excited about are, let's see, the celosia. I think that's how you say it. My cousin will correct me if I'm wrong. She's the expert in flowers. Clover Bee Flowers, make sure you follow her if you don't. Let's see, what else? Oh, cosmos. I absolutely love cosmos, so I have a couple of different colors for those. We got some Lysianthus, which is another of my faves. I have some of my grandfather's morning glory seeds. We've been passing those back and forth, so I'm gonna try the morning glories from seed this year. We've got stock, which is also one of my favorites. I always buy stock from Trader Joe's, so I'm excited to try growing that. A couple of different sunflowers, violas, and what do we have here? Zinnias and yarrow. We had a very garden-themed week this week, both indoor and outdoor. So thank you for joining in all that. Hopefully you learned something or got excited about what's to come, because I know I am. Next week, let's see, I'm going to a friend's. We are going to make macarons. That is a whole adventure that if you ever followed me on Instagram a while back, you saw I was like working through. I don't call myself a baker very often, but the one thing that I love and really love the challenge of making is French macarons. They are just beautiful and delicious. So I'm diving back into that journey starting tomorrow with my friend Kristen. She's the expert. I am just like getting a refresher from her, and then I'm going to continue to try perfecting my own macarons at home. So that'll be fun. I might pick up some seed starting mix and experiment with a few seeds just to get some things started. It's a little early for most of the seeds, but I'm just eager to try, and there are some things that will take forever to grow, so it might be worth just sticking them in the little containers to see if they can, they'll get started with our setup. And then I will be making a very quick trip home, so I will bring you along and show you a quick little snippet of home. And yeah, that's it. It'll be another busy week, but I'm glad you're here, and I'm getting more and more excited about gardening. Spring is just around the corner. It's gonna be here before we know it, and this kind of stuff just like keeps me going. It's just the little boost I needed to get through the rest of winter. Thank you for watching this week. If you liked the video, give it a like. Make sure to subscribe if you are not subscribed so you get updates for future videos, and I will see you next week.